Hi guys, it's Holistic Health Harry, Alkalized to Realize talk show. And today we are joined by a very special guest, Yogi Roo. How are you?
Hi, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm very good. Enjoying the cloud gazing from my office.
Yeah, we're just telling on air. You've
Being
got an up
inspired.
the top, right?
Yeah, coming straight from the divine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good, man. It's good to be here. It's been too long waiting.
Mm,
Let's
yeah,
smash it out.
yeah,
Let's
definitely,
share
brother.
some good information.
Yeah, we got to know each other because you wanted me last week. We talked before, but you wanted me to go on your show, and I did go on your show and put
Yeah,
up my YouTube
and it
and
went
put up
really.
your YouTube. And
Yeah.
now we return the favor, but actually it's more than return the favor. I want to tap into your knowledge on specific areas. So, with that being said, how did you get into the position you find yourself in now in your expertise? Where's the beginning of your journey?
Uh, well, we'll go back to pick up, or we'll go even back further. I started at yoga.
Mhm.
Yoga for me was stretching before workouts. I had a friend who was a Hare Krishna who introduced me to the whole concept. So I used to come and see him. He'd be doing like chanting beads. And I didn't really get the concept, but I was like, oh, I'll do some warm up for exercise. And then it just progressed from there to it became a good use when I had like emotional problems. So like you went through like a breakup or something, you'd be able to bring your emotions back to a positive, with like half an hour of asana. So that's where it started growing for me, and I started to realize this is a tool to help cope with life, and evolve as a being. Uh, and then Tantra specifically, I remember sat down one day, I was going, Josh, you got to focus on one thing, you got to specialize. You could do this like broad thing, or you
Mm,
can focus and specialize. And so you got to specialize to make it impact.
mm,
So yeah,
mm,
that's just where I started getting into Tantra.
mm.
Um, and then obviously you start with the sexual side of it, and then as it develops, it comes more into a spiritual way of life. So yeah.
How does you say pickup artist? We talked a bit about that. So how did that get in? Does that fit in there? Is that before or after this? Before you
uh it was kind of during,
during?
like, but tantra didn't really yeah, I was probably about halfway through our pickup journey when I got into Tantra,
Mm.
just because I was like, how can I last longer in bed, basically.
Yeah. So you're interested, I guess, at the pickup time of like sleeping with girls, as I was too. I don't know if my audience knows I
Yeah.
was into pickup too. So we often get motivated by either being really bad with girls or having a breakup with a girl that we really loved in a kind of needy way. Was that the same for you when you started? You get interested in the pickup? Is that breakup, harsh breakup?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what got me initially into it. I was with this. I used to not have much control over him. Like my first girlfriend, I was chasing her for like 3 years,
Mm.
and she had a boyfriend at the time, and I had to do some like, sneaky bastard shit to get into her pants, basically. So
Mm.
that all fell apart, and then I met this other really hot girl,
Mm.
who was like one of my best friend's exes,
Mm.
which I really recommend not doing because that'll destroy all your relationships.
Yeah.
I had to leave that town.
Mm.
But I remember, uh, I'll be honest, I cheated on her. 'Cause
Mm.
I didn't really know. I didn't have much respect for women. I was a bit
Mm.
all over the place. She dumped me. I don't blame her. But that just wrecked me. I was like, I don't know. I'll never meet a gorgeous woman like that again. I kind of ruined it. I fucked my chances over. And then I remember sat there and I was like, I'll look on YouTube because people, type questions into YouTube. People learn a lot of stuff from YouTube,
Mm.
hopefully. I have learned a lot of stuff from YouTube. So I typed in how to get over your girlfriend. And then this guy, RSD, Tyler, came up and he basically sat there and he's like, Josh, didn't say Josh, but he said, get your ass off the sofa. What are you doing to sat there on the sofa complaining? Get
Mm.
out of there, make some connections, take some action instead of sat there feeling sorry for yourself. And that was just like somebody come and slap me in the face. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try and work out. I'm going to get my notepad out,
Yeah.
start writing notes.
Yeah.
And that's when my journey of writing notes and trying to expand myself started.
And then running up to girls in the street in the nighttime, saying hello and seeing if you can like get to know them.
I remember my first ever like proper interaction. There was this waiting at a bus stop. Cause I used to walk like really nervous, like,
Mm.
some men describe it as like, we used to hunt bears,
Mm.
that same kind of fear. I
Mm.
don't know if women get the same thing, but there is like anxiety, a fear, social anxiety, approach anxiety.
Mm.
And I used to get that loads. I'd be like, oh, this person's going to hate me straight away. You didn't have that self-confidence.
Mm.
The first girl I went to, she just sat there walking waiting for a bus. And I went up to her and I said, you remember Princess Xena, the warrior princess?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, she looked like her, and I was like, oh,
Cool.
I said, oh, you got amazing braids.
Mm.
And she went, thank you. And now I realized she was letting some dialogue open up, but I was like, oh,
Goes
and
off.
just ran away. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I
So
know
a
that
lot of the
feeling.
encounters were
Mhm.
shitting yourself and running away.
Yeah.
But you got to build from that. And then it's like, you pick yourself up and eventually you go, they can only say no. And you learn to deal with rejection. And
Right.
eventually you end up looking for women that are looking for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't go so broad, you kind of narrow your. What I recommend for guys to do, and this really helped me, write down
Mhm.
21 things that you look for in a partner, and that will manifest. Write them down. So I had 21 things like likes to party but less than me, speaks multiple languages, gets on with her parents. And then when I met my girlfriend, my fiance now, she had all those characteristics, but I didn't realize I found the paper like a year later in my piles of notes, and I was like, fucking hell,
Oh.
she's hit 21 out of 21 here. So
Yeah.
you got to know what you're looking for, and then you'll find it.
Yeah, plus it's
Don't
good
go so broad.
qualification too, isn't it? It's good to qualify because a lot of guys don't have standards. So it'll raise your standards by saying, hey, I don't want just a random girl that looks beautiful but might be dumb inside. I want some kind of personality beyond the looks thing. Well, the looks is cool
Yeah.
too. We obviously do got judge a girl on looks, that's okay. But yeah, so it's good to have qualifications. I like that.
Yeah.
Good one for
Sex
guys.
is only 10% of a relationship,
Yeah.
maximum.
Mm.
If you're dating a woman for sex, you've literally fucked it.
Even the standard. We're talking about standard sex. Whoa, we're talking about the standard, bog standard.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, done kind of stuff. Yeah.
That kind of shit. Waste of time.
What's your name? Do you want a condom? That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of times I woke up.
That's what I thought it was,
name.
though. I'm sure you're the same. Before we knew about this stuff about Tantra. That's what I thought sex was. And to be honest with you, I got into pickup because I thought I was fucked up in the head, as most of us are. And I was like, I thought if I slept with loads of girls, it would fix me. Like, so I was really bad with girls at school. Wasn't good enough to get in a relationship at the time. I was like, okay, so I need to get good with girls generally. I'd love to sleep with loads of girls, and that'll fix my brain. I was like, Then I did pick up, and I realized over time that it's not about sleeping with loads of girls, is it? It's about the self-development aspect. I still love the self-development.
Inner confidence.
It gives you so much social skills, inner confidence. It changes your brain, rewires your brain from limiting beliefs to abundance. Yeah. It's amazing.
Confidence. Yeah. That's
huge.
Probably the main thing gives me.
Huge for guys. Confidence, personality more than looks.
Social engineering. I mean, that sounds kind of controlling, but social dynamics. Real social dynamics. That's what you learn.
RSD, very cool. They got me in, guys, into pick up 2 RSD. What he's talking about.
It's good. Yeah, I think just trying to just fuck every girl on the planet is probably not the best thing to do. And I kind of rejected that side of it. I think it should be finding your partner or a partner that really resonates with you. And then that's how Tantra rolls into it, because I think Tantra is the path of the couple as to go as one.
Cool. Let's roll into that then. So what you said, what is Tantra? If we went into and why did you get into Tantra from pickup? What was the motivation behind it?
Well, I think I've always wanted to teach yoga and teach yoga classes and share that information. And Tantra was just like, you can sit and meditate. What is the Tantra and what's the other one? I forget what the other one's called.
Like Tantra?
No, Tantra.
Taoism?
No. God damn it.
Sexual alchemy?
No. Tantra and fuck.
It's all right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, you got one that's more focused on spirit, and we're in Maya. We're stuck in Maya, and the delusion. And you can just sit. You can sit there and go, I am one with God. And that is one path. And you're disconnected from nature, and you're just trying to connect with God, connect with the Shiva. Yeah. The other side, you can embrace the nature and everything around us, sexuality, food, ritual, and you can make that into your spiritual path. Basically, that's my that word will come to me. You'll see, like in 5 minutes time, I'll be like, that's what it was.
Yeah, as is always the way, isn't it, brother? So you're you said earlier you're with your fiance. So you found, I guess you are, but you're practicing Tantra and all these kind of with your partner?
Yeah. It's like I said, it's something to do as a couple. So I could talk about the male side of it. Is for the male,
Mm-hmm.
for what I teach, the men, you learn how to not ejaculate,
Right.
and you learn how to bring it's like a pressure. Like just before you ejaculate, it's like a ball of pressure.
Mm.
You learn how to bring this. First, it's a visualization, then you actually start to feel the energy rising. You learn how to, like the Taoist, there's called the
Oh, I know
circle,
what microcosmic orbit.
microcosmic orbit. Yeah,
Mm.
you do the microcosmic orbit, or you bring different, you bring it to different chakras. So if you brought the energy, say, to the third chakra, you get like a strength boost. You know, good for the gym. You bring it to the heart, and then I don't know if you've ever experienced after you have sex with women ejaculate this thing called petit mort or little death, when you want to roll away. You're like, I've come, and now kind of like I'm not really interested in you. Many
Yeah.
men experience that, but if you bring the energy to the heart, as soon as you finish sex, the only thing you want to do is embrace and hug, and you just sit there and hug for ages. It's crazy.
How
And
does one bring it?
here's my
How does one bring
pardon.
it to the heart? How does one do this? How does one bring the energy back?
Is it so? What you got to do during sex, or if you're self pleasuring, it works as well. You breathe in and out through the belly, deep breath. We use the breath to guide us.
Mhm.
And then as you feel the energy bringing up, you visualize it. Like first, like I said, it's a visualization. Imagine like a ball of yellow light coming up the spine, and it sits in your heart. And that's the visualization you'll see. But eventually you'll feel the tingling. And eventually the pressure will subside from the genitals, and you'll feel it here instead. And then you'll lose the urge to ejaculate. Because I think once people realize there's another side, and you can have like 5-minute orgasms like a woman, you go, I don't really need this, and I don't want to feel tired. And you can go like 5 minutes later, because if you don't ejaculate, you haven't lost all these, important enzymes and vitamins, zinc. That's why they used to say if you masturbate too much, you'll go blind, because when you masturbate, you lose zinc, and lack of zinc can cause blindness. I don't know if there's a big correlation there, but stuff like that. Yeah.
Would you say that semen retention is a foundation for all these practices in terms of like a man must master at the beginning if he wants to get into this stuff, take it seriously, non-ejaculation, just practicing non-masturbation, non-release of semen. That's kind of important, right?
Yeah, I recommend people to do it for a week. Don't ejaculate for a week, and then you get a 47% boost of testosterone. So that's a scientific, tangible result. That's why fighters don't have sex before big matches. Footballers don't have sex. Mike Tyson talks about you get the animal urge. Trust me. And what you've got to do is you go for 7 days, don't ejaculate. Yeah. But the real thing is go for 21 days, not ejaculate, because we have this thing called the orgasm hangover, which lasts for 17 days. But we just go to 21 days because it's just a nice round number. Yeah, and then your eyes start to glow. You get this like magnetism, and you just like, it feels amazing. It's really worth being in that place.
And that's without any exercise, which we'll go to in a bit. That's without just semen retention alone, without any energy work, transmutation. Just does all these amazing things you just said. Eyes glow.
Yeah, that's just not depleting your energy resources.
Yeah.
Like I said, in one ejaculation, there's the equivalent of 8 ounces of steak, 6 oranges, 2 lemons, and 12 eggs. So think about what you got to eat. I mean, that's a nutritional guide just for one ejaculate. Think about how much your body then has to transmute to get all those enzymes and vitamins back into your body. So you kind of, it's kind of like bleeding yourself by ejaculating too much. Unless you've got a really good diet, you're not going to get those same vitamins and enzymes back.
I think the Taoists say that the best of every single organ goes into the semen. So it's if you take it out, the energy reserves of the best of every organ is going to have to recycle and make that again. So it takes out a lot of the body. The best of your body goes into making this holy substance. And I love urine therapy, and we'll talk about that if you want to later, because you experience it too. But I think semen's more powerful in a way than urine, and that's saying a lot, because I love urine and it's amazing. But yeah,
I think it says a lot that it comes from the same place. Like you said, the magic comes from the front and the shit comes out the back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think there's a lot to say in that. That's what. Even if you look at, there's an episode of QI where they talk about urine therapy, and they go, I don't know what people's got a problem. There's no actual toxins coming out, and I was like, well, if they said it on QI, that's pretty
That's
much
good
set in
stuff.
stone for me.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, we'll talk
two
about a
eyes where
bit.
I go for my
We'll talk about
information.
that a bit. Let's get the information out there on. So semen retention is a foundation, and we know that has benefits. You're saying set after 7 days and 21 days ideally. Just keep going with this. What can people do? Because there's levels beyond that, isn't there, in Tantra, a lot of actual
Yeah.
alchemy of the transmutation of the semen. What do you recommend for guys to look into next after they've mastered the semen retention? What exercise?
What you really, the first thing you need to get into, and I got into this kind of near the end, so I kind of fucked up. Because for me, this is like a 4-year journey, and I can condense it down to maybe 2-3 months for guys. That's what I like to do. What you got to focus on first, and this might sound kind of boring, but it's important. You got to focus on relaxation.
Yeah.
So the nervous system is divided into the somatic and the autonomic. The somatic system, our somatic system is responsible for carrying motor and sensory information like hand movement, walking, touch, etc. The autonomic nervous system acts largely unconsciously and regulates body functions such as heart rate, including blood vessels, and organs like the stomach, intestines, digestive glands, liver, kidney, bladder, lungs, as well as saliva, sweat, and last but not least, the genitals and sexual arousal. The autonomic, this is important. This might sound it's important. The autonomic nervous system has 2 main divisions: sympathetic, listen, fight, flight, and freeze, and parasympathetic, feed, breed, rest, and digest. Now listen, feed, breed, rest, and digest. Okay, so right, if you've got anxiety, any kind of anxiety, through to not being comfortable in a sexual situation or having like fear of pre-ejaculation, then your body's in a sympathetic fight, flight, or freeze. Okay, so your body has to be in a relaxed state in order to fire up the sexual organs. If you're not relaxed, it's either you're relaxed and sexually active, or you're anxious and not sexually active. So you have to really find a way to ground yourself in the parasympathetic nervous system. And the way you do this is through breathing.
You're breathing.
And there's one particular breath I'd like to teach you. It's called the 1-2 breath.
Yeah, please do.
And it's the best one for calming down the nervous system. So what you got to do is you breathe in and you breathe out on a double the amount you breathe in. So if you breathe on a 4 count, and you breathe out on an 8 count. And then you could breathe in on an 8 count and breathe out on a 16 count. And you'll notice after a few rounds of this, your body just, and you're really grounded and you're relaxed. And then you can, going from that position, going from that state of mind to sex is way better than going from, oh, I don't know if I'm going to come, or, you know what I mean? Yeah. You got to come, center yourself, potentially consecrate, and then go from there if you want to have the full tantric experience.
I like that. And doesn't foreplay tie into that, like maybe sexual massage and relaxing that way with a partner?
Yeah, I do this. I teach this thing called sexual kriyas, which is a series of different exercises that you do with your partner. So one of these is you sit kind of facing each other, and you put your right palm up, left palm down, and they put the opposite hands, so that your hands are like that together.
Yeah.
And then you visualize energy coming up through out of their right through your left, and you do this like circuit in between you, and you visualize energy going in between. You just make this kind of like energetic connection. That's one of my favorite ones to do. And then have you heard of like acro yoga, like partner yoga?
Flying partner yoga.
Yeah, stuff where you like, you pull against each other. If you do hip openers, like the hip is connected with the heart. So if you've got tension in the hips, you'll have tension in the heart. So a good way of like opening up sexually is to do like, hip flexors, butterfly pose, stuff like that. Venus back rolls, where you go back to back and you kind of like lean into each other and you kind of undulate with each other. It's just kind of connecting, and that's a really nice way of connecting. You could do it naked, and then you could go into sex from there.
Yeah, definitely. This is cool tips for relaxing, so that the important state is relaxing before you get excited. And because guys get too excited too quickly without the relaxing stage, and therefore within 2 minutes they think they're done, or they are done, because that's too exciting and there's no relaxing. and they think that
Yeah.
it's necessary to ejaculate, and that's a prime thing to look out for, to ejaculate. It's a prime thing for them. It's not really.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Slowing down is good. I
Yeah.
think you got to have. I'll be honest. When the first thing I learned about, 5-hour sex sessions. I remember reading this magazine, and there was on like paganism,
Hmm.
and they were saying these like Wicca priests, they kind of have sex for 5 hours. That's like their initiation. I was like, fuck, how do they have sex for 5 hours? How is that possible?
Yeah.
But then I learned this is how you have sex for 5 hours, and I've personally done that. But then, if you look at like statistics, couples, the best sex lasts about 20 minutes to half an hour. Okay, that's the real sweet zone. That's what you should aim for.
Yeah.
You can't sublimate till about half an hour, so you should be aiming for a half an hour session. And be honest, the average man lasts about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But the average woman takes 20 minutes to climax. So you got to kind of get that deficit fixed. And also you got to come from the mentality of, first you got to be like, I don't want to ejaculate.
Yep.
And then you kind of telling your body not to. You get having conscious control of what you think is a unconscious process by developing the prostate connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you subscribe quickly to the Taoist thrusting that I read about? That's kind of interesting. The shallow, deep thrusts with a partner.
Shallow, deep thrust.
No.
Well, I'm not really sure about that personally. I recommend just doing deep thrusts because for me and my partner personally, we don't do clitoris stimulation anymore because there's much. I mean, the clitoris is the whole vagina, but the little bean at the end. We kind of ignore that because the clitoris goes right deep into the vagina, and around here, it's way more stimulated. So if you can get your penis right to the end, and the end of it's like a uterus orgasm. The end of the vagina feels like a little nose, and if you can get right up deep, right to the fucking base, and you sit there, and for a lot of women it's painful, but through de-armoring, through like internal vagina massage, you can get through all these like sore points, and eventually, that's all my woman likes now is just deep. You sit, you go deep, and you hold it, and it's more like an energetic connection. It's weird. I can sit and not do any friction, but the sensation, like the buzzing, it's like electricity because you've got like this energetic connection. Yeah,
so
it goes beyond.
You're feeling around the body.
Friction.
Are you? Because I think you've had some experiences. Maybe you could talk a little bit about the idea of male internal orgasming to the audience. I don't know what the audience is like. Some guys might be aware of this, but do you think it's possible to do internal orgasming for guys? And if so, how would you do that? And how long does it take? And is there a way of doing it, or is there just a surrender aspect to it as well? Like,
you got to get like, where do you think semen comes from?
for me, where do I think semen comes from? I think the body,
Where's it stored before you ejaculate? Is my question.
Where's it stored for ejaculate? I'm not sure. The testes, I'm guessing. The testicles.
No.
The Van's gland underneath prostate.
No.
Possibly?
Has anybody heard of the seminal vesicle?
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. See, a lot of men are not aware of their own anatomy. You got to be aware of it. This is why I don't just come at it from like, Tantra and spirituality. You got to come in with a solid scientific for the Western mind. So I use biology, anatomy. My book is full of dick pictures. Cool. I don't know if you can see that, but you need to know the anatomy.
Yeah.
So the sperm is produced in the testes. That's true, but while it's waiting to be ejaculated, it sits in the seminal vesicle. Only a third of the liquid actually comes from the testicles, so it sits in the seminal vesicle, and it's got fructose and stuff in there, and that's where it sits and kind of incubates before it gets sent into the woman or into the sock or wherever you're sending it. So you've got to have a mind. So the guy's trying to get a mind connection with the testicles. Like you got to have connection with your arms. Yeah, it's like a muscle. The prostate's the muscle. You got to have connection with the seminal vesicle. You got to go. Listen here, seminal vesicle. I want you to not ejaculate. Yeah. And once you get that mind, once you kind of work out where the seminal, and you feel what it feels like when it fires up. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's that you got to have the mind-body connection with this area. So there's a chart I like to use. So 0 is neutral. 100 is ejaculation. Yeah. Yeah. we do this thing called edging, where you get yourself up to like 90%. Yeah, just before that bit where it goes, I can't stop it. Blah. So you got to practice you got to practice being in the 90% zone. And then eventually you learn to enjoy the 90% zone, and then you learn how to stop yourself through experience.
Yeah.
And you
And
stop
fucking
yourself.
up. And fucking up, right? Because sometimes you're going to fuck up, aren't you?
Yeah, of course, there's a journey, man. I've fucked up so many times.
Yeah.
But you can either stay on the floor, or you can get back on the horse and keep charging.
Right.
So, yeah, a lot of people, like my first tip I heard, my first technique was the $1 million point, where you press and you put pressure on this like tube underneath the testes, and that'll stop the semen mid-flow. But that's going to damage your tubes.
Yeah.
So what I do is take the fingers away and learn how to do that same technique without any hands. That's what I like to teach.
Using your mind power, the mind-body connection. You say.
Mind power, mind-body connection, having dialogue with the genitals. So, you know, and controlling them. Like you can control, not consciously, but if you tap in, you can slow your heartbeat down. You can fire up your kidneys. It's just having that mind-body connection, which you get through practice. Yeah.
Right. That's really interesting. Yeah, man. Okay. So, yeah, and that's like a muscle, I guess, the concentration aspect, the mind-body connection. So if I'm thinking as well in my mind, if you do meditation, do visualizations, you're really practicing mindfulness. All these things are building up the mind-body connection, concentration. They're going to help you for what now I need to think about where my semen is or when it's coming out so I can stop it. And doing all these practices, they're all linked, aren't they? It's concentration and muscle. Like you just got to keep practicing and it will come together.
Yeah, and then after edging, we're doing this thing where we go beyond the 100%. So you go, this is where I'll ejaculate, and then you learn, right, I've stopped this now. This is not going to happen anymore, and you go beyond 100. So it doesn't sound correct. So 100 is ejaculation. That's where it says it in this chart here. Yeah. This is where ejaculation is, but you go past that. You go, right, ejaculation is not happening. Woof, you go straight past that, and that's where the multi-orgasm, spine undulating, like. Oh. And my girlfriend's just sat there like, oh, you finished it? I get just a second, because. You know, different emotions like happy, sad, you know, you can tap in. So like act sad now, you're like, oh, act happy now, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm really happy. Orgasm is an emotion. Once you learn how to tap into that, I use these mudras. So I got this mudra. When I'm not going to do it now, but you can tune yourself to do a mudra, and then when you do that mudra, because right, so every time you orgasm, you do a specific hand gesture. Yeah, this is not my one. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to have an orgasm on camera. But say this is I do this, or I do this, or I do this every time, or I do this, or this every time I orgasm. Every time, and then your body will associate that with orgasm. So by doing that same gesture, you can kind of just keep on this kind of, you're like, right, I'm in this zone. Yeah. And now I can do things to stay in this zone. Because it's like once you take off, you can either stay in the air and glide, or you can kind of come back, crack down. Yeah. So you got there's different things to do. Once you get into this stage, how do I stay in this stage?
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. That, and thank you for telling us that. So you use the body as being one thing. I'm thinking too, or I did think, and now it's gone from my mind too. Oh no. So can you tell us a little bit about? So the first stage would be a prostate orgasm. Is that correct? Before a full body, and that's kind of like a very advanced stage, I think. Is there prostate orgasm?
Well, prostate. All orgasms are kind of prostate orgasms, because what happens is the prostate pulses. So the prostate's like a pump. When most orgasms is like 3 pumps. So the pump sucks the ejaculation, gone. So that's it. So if you learn how to turn the seminal vesicle off, so it's not feeding semen into the prostate, and you learn how to keep because the prostate's a muscle, that is fact. Yeah. So you can control muscles. So if when the prostate does this, it feels good. If I can make the prostate keep doing that, it feels better. And the one way we learn how to control the prostate is through Kegel exercises, which a lot of guys have heard about. Is when you squeeze, you release, squeeze, release, or you go to the toilet. And this is you stop yourself peeing, and then you think. But what you got to do is you stop yourself peeing, spin around a few times,
spin around,
and then start peeing. Yeah, because if you just stop yourself peeing, and then you go straight away, you've got no control. But if you stop yourself peeing and hold it and do something that, some kind of dynamic exercise that, oh, I need to have full control here, I'm just going to piss everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's just an exercise, and you got to have control, because it's if you can't stop, if it hurts to stop peeing, then you've got weak muscles. You know what I mean? I could probably go for, I mean, it's not like a skill or anything, but go for a piss, stop it, go listen to something, go walk around the house a bit, come back, and then like, you know, get rid of it. But that's just through, like, I'm not the strongest guy, but this area for me is like a fucking rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just from training.
Yeah, that's good. At the anus perineum contractions, then you're saying is an essential part of the protocol for guys in terms of if they want internal orgasming and to really get good at this stuff, they've got to do that regularly on a daily basis, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
and then you got to verbally say, I don't want to ejaculate. Tell your body, I don't want to ejaculate, and your body will try and it works for you, man. If you can't control your body, then what the fuck can you control? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's like the only thing you can control is what you do. Yeah, I think.
So I'll show you a few experiences of mine. I've done it by accident, so I'm not a master of this at all. However, by accident, during yoga, quite often, and during sunset, I think there's a strong link between red light therapy and nakedness and yoga and sexual energy work. Anyway, during yoga, I'll do the poses, the Halsana and the shoulder stand. And after the Halsana plow pose, I've sat there looking out the window and just had like what felt like my prostate was on fire. So my bum would burn, and then I'd get the vibrations for 2 or 3 minutes of bliss, of orgasm, not in the whole body, I'd say just down below near the perineum area, prostate, I don't know what it is, but it felt great. And I've always tried to replicate it, and I wondered why I never could. I've always wondered since. I've done it.
You can orgasm through breathing. I think it's just having that will to do it, you know. Yeah. Like energy orgasms, there's all different kinds of ways. Like you can make women orgasm by rubbing their feet. I've never done it personally. My girlfriend hates the feet being touched, but I think it's your intention more than it's all about what you like. That's why we consecrate. We go, I'm dedicated. This is one, and I recommend listeners do it. You sit with your partner and go, I dedicate the energy that we stimulate, that we generate through this practice to go for a better relationship. And you'll feel the whole the dynamic of sex changes. It turns into this beautiful love making, and you go, we're having sex now to make us a stronger couple. You know what I mean? As opposed to just bonking for pleasure. Or you go, we're doing this for our career or whatever. That's sex magic. And if you do it together, if you both agree on it, it makes sex a productive thing that can strengthen you as a couple. Not just bonking, but you're like, we did this for each other. Yeah, it makes it a whole lot deeper.
Yeah. And what's your opinion on the surrender part of it? Do you think there's a key aspect of it is the surrender, like not trying too hard? Because I feel like there's the exercises, there's the going with the flow, and then also there's like a surrender part that I struggle with, I think. Like,
I think women get annoyed that men don't let go enough. And I think if you get too preoccupied with the process,
too logical, almost too logical, you're saying.
Not in the moment. Yeah, you're not in the moment. That's why you got to practice by yourself.
Yes.
And I'd just like to just give you guys some quick techniques that I've really helped, that I think help. So one of them is a mudra, and this will also stop you throwing up. It's a Tibetan mudra. So what you do is you bring your thumb in like that, and you bring your fingers over, and this is an energy lock. And trust me, if you do this just before you ejaculate, it just stops it in its path. And also, if you gag and you do this, it will stop you gagging. It's just whatever this does, it just stops things being expelled. It's like, don't expel me mudra.
Wow,
that was really useful.
Can I ask again? So what is it? That and
so hand, thumb in,
and then
like that, and you squeeze, and that for me is a real go-to. And just for some reason, it's vomiting, ejaculating. I haven't tried it taking the shit, but it just stops stuff coming out. And trust me, it might sound crazy.
Or just one?
I just do it one hand.
One-handed.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Maybe right hand.
Yeah. That's a great tip.
Also, Also, one thing you got to do is, I'm going to show you here, is you got to reduce tension. So a lot of guys, especially when they're masturbating, they have their legs out like really straight, and they got a lot of tension in their legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all this tension is pushing it. It's pushing the semen out. So if you go, oh, you're pushing. So what you got to do is to take the tension away. You sit, you bring your feet together, your knees apart, and And then when you're doing your thing, you can't push out. So there's so much less tension to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah, try that. Try the mudra, and you'll see like a 50% reduction in the urge to ejaculate. Easy.
Nice. Very
Practical
cool.
tips.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
Practical.
quickly with that one. So when I'm doing the anus perineum pumps and trying to imagine the energy going up, I get tension in my leg, like an orgasm, like a shaking in my legs if I do it. I'm not sure if that's tension like you described or orgasm. I can't tell. Sometimes it feels good, but there's a lot. I feel like it's a bit of both. It's tension and orgasm, but it's in my legs.
Have you tried it with the legs like that?
No, I'm going to try that. From watching.
Yeah, try that, and you'll see because a lot of ejaculation is the body squeezing out. You go. Yeah, you got to get away from that. So kind of loosey goosey. And also you got to be focused on. I want to make my partner orgasm. Not I'm here for myself. It's like I'm in it for them. You know, once my partner's orgasmed, that's like, oh, you've done your bit. Now you can have your fun.
Yeah.
So that's another way of like stretching out. And also what I recommend doing is going slow. The first 5 minutes is the danger zone. So if you go nice and slow for those first 5 minutes, first 10 minutes, then your body kind of relaxes into it. It doesn't become too overpowering. You breathe into it. Also, if you breathe through your left nostril, it brings you down again. It brings the pressure down. If you breathe through your right nostril, it brings the pressure up. So just by, I mean, it takes a bit of practice, but eventually you learn how to just do it without the fingers. And then breathe through your left as your Shakti, it brings you down. Breathe out through your right.
Without it, you just concentrate, I guess. You just think about the left one. Just feel the air, air go through the left only, right?
Yeah, and then eventually you'll go, it'll just be just as easy. I mean, you can do it like that, but you don't want your partner to realize you're doing all these tricks.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to discuss your partner. Like I'll say, oh, I'm a bit close now. Can we ease off?
Yeah.
And she'll be like, yeah, cool. If you love each other, she'll be like, yeah, I can ease off fine. You go slow, or I'll pull out for a second and we'll recalibrate. I'll do a bit of oral or some finger work or something, kind of cool down. We're still in the sexual stimulation, and then go back in. You know, is it about the process? Is it about the love making, or is it about the end goal? What is it about? It's about the process. Yeah, it's about having sex. That's the fun bit.
Yeah. Can I ask you any more tips? And those are great, by the way. I'm going to try those 2 hours. Are there any more great tips you can give us on?
Fire breath.
Yeah.
So just before you ejaculate, you do this. So you breathe in, and you just focus on the exhale. So, and this is like just decreases the pressure as well. So you'll actually feel like the tension leaving your body. So a combination of that. Trust me, I found this out. That and that will, I reckon so. I mean, it takes practice, and it's all about what you want to happen. Yeah. And don't watch porn, because if you watch porn, it's overstim. If you can do it while watching porn, that's like another level of like control, but it's better to avoid that.
Yeah.
Because when you're watching porn, you're focused on this screen, and you're not focused on what your body's doing. So you'd be like, oh shit, I just ejaculated, because I was totally away from us. But if you're by yourself, in your mind, in your body, then you can feel the whole process.
That's interesting what you just said there. You made me think of like when you're with a partner, what goes wrong for a lot of guys is it's overstimulated and excited at the beginning phases, like you said, the first 5 minutes, because they're looking at this body and like, oh, I get to touch this body, I get to play with it. They forget about their own body and what's going on in their own energy. So they're focused too much a little bit. They're focused too much on the excitement and the novelty of a new body and not their own energy, right? And that's where it goes.
Yeah. And just to point out, just that trick I taught you about the mudra and associating an orgasm with a mudra, that's called anchoring. It's where you associate a specific body position with a specific emotion. Right. So also one for fear is if you're scared and nervous, you can bring your shoulders down right by your side, as down as low as possible, and you squeeze them in, and that just conquers fear. So just these little ones. And another one I do is, I've got headphones in, but you bring your arms up, you imagine this chi coming up through the floor, and you send it into space, you're like a big tree, and the other way you bring it down from space down to earth. And I do that, and once I've done that, I'm ready for anything. That's like, I've done this, I've done my chi building, I can take on the world. They're just some little anchors for people there to So you can control your emotions. If you're sad, try some of these and you'll bring yourself out through, you know, the difference between sat in there on a ball, all curled up. They did this experiment. They had these people jumping off a platform into a pool, and they had half of the people sat in a ball for 3 minutes, you know, in a fear position, and the other people did the victory pose where you go like that, like, you know, like you've won a race. And the people who did that for 3 minutes, they jumped straight away. The people who've been sat curled up, they bottled it. So your body position, if you want to change your mood, change your body position.
Nice advice. Yeah, change your body, change your. If you look down at the floor like I used to, that's depression. If you look up, you're going to be like, oh, medal is going to be happier.
Yeah, look up. That's cloud gazing, man.
Cloud gazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask as well? Have you personally? So you've done, I guess, pretty normal for you now. You've had experience with full body male orgasming. I mean, the whole body schmack and like big deals, like minutes on end. And is that normal?
Yeah. I mean, it takes, like I say, it takes about half an hour of pre work to get into that point. Like, you're not going to start sublimating. You're not going to start having multi-tantric orgasms in the first 5 minutes. Yeah. It's the process. So you got after half an hour. Then we're talking. But until you reach half an hour, if you can't control yourself half an hour, you're not going to have this experiences.
And it builds. So like you're building up the energy, building, getting to wow. Huh.
And you're finding this space that you don't get to tap into very often. You know, it's like a workout. You have to get a sweat on before you get the full benefits. Yeah. You know, if you do 5 minutes of weights, it's not really. And you do an hour. Half an hour, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you gone beyond that? Do you believe in the soul orgasms, the dissolution of the ego with tantric sex and that stuff?
I'm into ego death anyway. I don't know if the two are associated, if the tantra, but I've always been into ego death. Just a minute. It's raining through my window.
Is it? Oh, no. Raining in the UK. What a surprise.
Getting very wet all of a sudden. So ask that question again, sorry.
Yeah, so do you believe in there's a point I read in Chia stuff where beyond the full body male orgasm, there's like levels beyond of the soul orgasm, and like seeing a partner as an ego dissolution, like you're just seeing real, like some ego.
But I'm into transfiguration where your partner embodies Shakti and you embody Shiva. So through sex, you do this cosmic dance and you realize that you are gods. Not like I am superior to you, but we're all like this one big cosmic soup. And ego for me is your social construct. So my name's Joshua. I'm half Scottish. My family supports Celtic. My dad's vegetarian. I don't like politics. I'm interested in warfare, but I don't like fight. You know, it's like this is what society has said that I am.
Yeah.
But that's not who you are. If you take away all these layers, who are you beneath that? You know, am I really Josh, or is that just what my parents told me I am? Am I really English, or is that just how the maps are set up now, and I've just kind of fallen into that? Do you know what I mean? That's what I think ego death is. It's detaching yourself from what society has told you that you are to your true self.
And you think sex is a way to do that, right? Tantra is a great way to do that, to learn.
Yeah, of course. Because when you're having sex with somebody, you're going, I'm having sex with Sarah, or I'm having sex with you. You're just experiencing this, energy, this different level. Yeah, I think ego death and Tantra go hand in yoga and ego death go hand in hand. I think it'll eventually happen, unless you're egocentric and you just care about yourself. But that's not me anyway.
No. This has been awesome so far. Can I ask a question? Because I saw in your YouTube video, you did testicle breathing. Is that a sexual transmutation exercise, testicle breathing? And why do you recommend it? Because I've seen other Chia talks about it. It seems to be very popular in the communities for testicle breathing. What's going on with that one?
I think it's just bringing more conscious awareness to that area. And it's just like, in the same, if you did like kidney exercises or something, you're just firing up there. You just having that conscious mind-body connection. Shaking the testicles, it just fires them up. I just think it's just mind-body connection, really.
Yeah, again, it's,
personally.
yeah, I've been trying it in preparation for this, and also because I'm obsessed, and I think it's really powerful. Actually, I'm getting great results. I feel like I can feel the tingling that you described in your video when I saw of it,
Hmm.
and I feel like there's a lot of sexual energy going on there. And I'm also doing it because it improves my concentration for other mind-body visualizations. So now I'm practicing
Yeah,
thinking of a particular area.
it could potentially stimulate testosterone. And the
Mm,
testosterone is the male hormone.
yeah,
Testosterone in men equals happiness in men.
yeah.
This is why not ejaculating, if you don't ejaculate for 21 days or a week, you get a 47% testosterone boost. And that is scientific. Go Google it.
Yeah.
That's what you want. And I think if testosterone comes from the testes, which is why we put sun on it, by stimulating them, I assume it's just making more testosterone, which is why we've got that improved concentration and all those other benefits.
Yeah.
I think it's testosterone.
What about
Testosterone is the
yeah.
chemical.
What about for guys that I have problem too? Wet dreaming, like, is that an issue with guys that are doing semen retention? Is it should be an issue? Should it be a focus area? Should guys worry about it? Is it a big deal?
I've had wet dreams, but whenever I've had wet dreams, is I've been sexually stimulated to some degree the night before.
All right.
You know,
Yeah.
so maybe I had a little play and didn't take it to the extreme, but that's enough for your body to go away with you, or you were fantasizing about some girl. Yeah, I think if that's to do with not sublimating properly, actively sublimating, I think wet dreams.
Yeah, I think so.
But I mean, they could also be like, because we're young, like maybe it gets like critical mass. But I don't think that's true, because the seminal vesicle also recycles semen, because semen's got a life, like a date, a certain lifetime, and then your body just recycles it back into, the nutrition's back into the system again. So I think it's maybe I mean, I don't know about yourself personally, but I think it would be to do with like maybe some kind of sexual stimulation the night before, or something like that. Or what I recommend guys doing for sublimation is headstand. So maybe if you're about to ejaculate and you want to cool down a bit, go do a headstand. Or you've just had sex and you want to sublimate, go do a headstand. Or you're trying to avoid wet dreams, do some headstand before bed. And I like to point out the world record for headstands like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
What?
So,
didn't know that. It's a long time.
Yeah. So realistically, we could do extended headstands for like, personally, my best is only like 5 minutes, but I'm trying to make that 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And I recommend anybody, if you want to improve your life, improve your headstand. And that will just, it will help in so many, it's the king of asanas.
Yeah.
So what are the reasons to do it?
Yeah.
But,
I feel like the shoulder
really
stand
works.
would be just as effective, almost. The shoulder stand, because you put
if you can't do headstand, do shoulder stand.
Shoulder stand.
It's the same. It's the same. You're just getting your heart above your head.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. But I know headstand for me, it just feels like
amazing,
more powerful when I do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do a tripod instead of like hands.
Oh,
you can do it like that or like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like doing it like that.
Oh.
And what I like to do is not focus on the balance. Focus on like your little fingers touching or something, and then your body balances subconsciously. Does it by itself instead of you trying to be like, ooh. You just go, right, focus on my fingers, and your body goes, right, he's focused on his fingers. Let's keep the rest of his body stiff subconsciously. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to run through with us on your book that we didn't get out?
I'm just trying to think. Kegel exercise, we covered Kegel exercise, we covered edging, sublimation, we've done mudras, surfing where you go beyond the orgasm. We've got the microcosmic orbit, where it's the meditation where you visualize the energy coming up your back and down the front. And that's a good one. I think you can either do the chakra, where you bring it to a chakra, or you can do the microcosmic orbit. It's whatever is, dealer's choice, whatever you decide you want to do. Yeah, Taoism and Tantra are kind of going hand in hand, doing a similar thing. But what one of them describes more, the other won't describe so much. But the two really,
they meet in the middle.
if you bring them together, it paints a really beautiful picture of the whole landscape, especially if you're looking into nature. And
yeah, that's fascinating. And I guess the microcosmic orb meditation would be good if you've got blue balls. If you've got blue balls and too much stuck energy in the testicles, maybe a microcosmic orb might be good.
Well, that's where they reckon. Monks in the Catholic Church. That's where they reckon that because they don't, well, they shouldn't engage in sex, but because they don't sublimate, they don't, the energy stagnates in that area, and that's why they have all these perversions. You know, there's no point keeping it there. You've got to bring it up. If you keep it there, it'll spill out, and you know, it's dangerous territory, really, the second chakra. Like the monks and people, you know, people who really get into tantra on a deep level. Like, this is just red tantra. This is like sexual tantra, but white tantra is more visualizations, meditation. You don't even need sex for that kind of stuff. This is just, this side of it is just an introduction to the better things, the meditation, the escaping Maya, you know, the visualization. You know, this sex is just an easy introduction for people who want to get into yoga, something fun you can do with your partner, and then you go, what's this yoga thing? And you go down this rabbit hole. Yeah, this whole system is just an interesting way to get people into doing yoga. I think that's what it is for me.
Nice.
You know? Well, if more people did yoga, I think the world would be a better place.
Oh man, yeah, definitely.
And eventually, I think we'll hit critical mass, and that's all I want to do, is just preach the word. It's not about me. It's not about me or my techniques. It's just sharing techniques, sharing information with other people, and hopefully improving their lives. That's the real, you know, goal.
Yeah.
Have a better planet, you know.
I like
I've met New World Order. I'm not sure about New World Order, but I think there's something special in the world coming together as a unit. You know, some people are against that, but I think we're not going to get anywhere unless we don't come together. And that's what made one good thing about this whole virus is it's kind of brought everybody together, and so everybody's in the same fucking boat now. And that's kind of a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So when it all blows away, everybody's going to come out and be like, oh, we're all brothers, really.
Yeah. I thought that too recently. Yeah, it's very true. We're all coming together. Like when it rains, everyone realizes, oh, we're part of nature. When we're outside, it's raining. Everyone's going to get wet. Like same with this. Everyone's in fear, whatever it's real or not. It doesn't really matter. Everyone's like coming together, been doing the same rules, doing this, like, isolating. So now we're going to be comforted. Like, yeah, bring it on. We're stepping up.
Yeah, and the pollution's down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, most pollution comes from factories and the big cargo ships anyway. But you know, if we're giving the Earth a little fucking spruce up now, that's good.
Definitely.
You know, and people are dying. That sucks. But people die all the time, and that sucks. But I believe in reincarnation. So you just go in, you come back again. You know what I mean? You come back slightly better than you left. So it's kind of a win-win for me. I don't want to die, but it's you got to come to terms with it, I think, instead of being scared of it.
Yeah, thanks for saying all that. That's really powerful. Before we leave, though, would you is there any final message you'd like to leave the audience? I think you summed up really well with the coronavirus, the tantra, and I've learned a lot myself. I'm sure the audience has. Is there any information that we didn't cover that you'd like to talk about, or just to sum up to people, give advice on most important tips? Run through the same things if you want that you've said. Repetition, I guess.
Yeah, I think relaxation first. Practice the 1-2 breath. Breathe in for 4 count. Breathe out on an 8 count. Yeah. Breathe in on an 8 count, breathe out on a 16 count, and you can go all the way up to like 22 in, 46 out. You know, yoga is about slowing down the breath as well. Then you got to learn about self-love. You got to really love yourself deeply. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to love anybody else. So this is something you got to come across first. Then sublimation. You got to learn how to bring the energy, the stagnation, out of the crotch, out of the second chakra into different places, either through bringing it through different chakras, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, the 6th, the 7th, or you do the microcosmic orbit. Breath work's really important. So fire breath. Practice that just before you ejaculate, and you'll feel it. Every pump just brings the pressure down slightly. It's like the pressure's going from here and it's going out like that. That's what it feels like. Cool. So it's kind of like the pressure kind of expands through your whole body through fire breath. Mudras. That one. Try the anchoring. I'll tell you, this is my anchor. I don't want to do it for long. This is my anchor, and if I do that for so long, I can already feel it powering up. Yeah. Oh wow. That's my anchor. That's crazy. Anchor. Yeah. It's instant, man. And you go. That's why I don't like to do it, because I don't want to have an orgasm or go into the beginnings of throws. It's not like I go. It's just I don't. Yeah, it's not appropriate to be in that frame of mind on YouTube. Surfing, going beyond. So we start with edging. We bring it up to the 90%, 100% is when you ejaculate. So we play around with 80, 90%, and you learn how to control that bit. And then eventually, through having control of the prostate and the seminal vesicle, we learn to go past 100 into these realms, 150, 200. Wow. exercises with your partner, do acro yoga together to kind of open up the hips to connect with the heart. That's good. Sex magic, where you both sit and consecrate. You decide what you're going to dedicate this energy to. So either to stronger love, to a new house, to a better career. It's really whatever you want to charge up, that's what you put it into. Sex, try and make it last about half an hour. That's the golden zone. I think women ejaculate at 20 minutes. So that's you. Anything over half an hour, and I've looked into this, and it kind of could get tedious. But having sex for several hours is great, but not all the time. Sometimes it's good. Depends what you got, how busy you are. Enjoy the process. It's not about the end goal. It's about sex is about the 99% before you ejaculate. That's the real best part. Also very important, extremely important, and I don't know why I forgot to do this, you have to massage the area after you've finished. So the bit beneath your testicles, I'll just show you, sorry to be crude, but
is that the perineum, brother? The perineum, right?
It's like underneath the testicles, there's a bit you rub, and you notice there'll be tension there through practicing, and you got to take this tension out. So what I do is I do 52, like get the three fingers, you do 52 anti-clockwise, no, 54 anti-clockwise, and then 54 clockwise. And you do anti-clockwise because that connects to the yang energy, and yang's that whole area. So you got to do that, or else you're going to have tension and blockages and potentially damage your prostate.
Okay, so after what? After sex, after individual solo cultivation, after everything.
Okay. I recommend giving just if you find where the $1 million point is, and you'll find from experience, from having more connection to that area, you will discover where the tension is. It's just beneath the testicles, just above the anus. You massage around there, and you'll notice the pressure go away. And this is really important because I don't want to give anybody any practices that potentially damage their prostate. I want people to have prostate health. Prostate disease is fuck loads of guys over because they don't have a prostate connection. If you can have a mind-body connection with your prostate, I think it's a real game changer. And I don't know, I haven't had a prostate exam, but I reckon when I go get it done when I'm 40, it's going to reflect on my work. Fingers crossed.
Fascinating.
That is, I think that's me. Check out pureaffair.com. Taco manual. It's all free.
Cool.
Everything I do is free for now because it's just about spreading the message.
Purified State, was it? What's this website? Purifiedstate.com?
Pure Affair. PUREAFFAIR. If you put a link to it, pureaffair.com. I've got stuff for men. We mainly focus on the stuff for men, but I've got stuff for women as well. I'm just going to that quickly. The woman, the vagina is normally like a pocket, You have sex and it's kind of like this, But what women don't know is they have 3 rings of muscle in the vagina. And through this technique called Pompor, which I also have on my website, it's completely free. And trust me, you can get it for free on my website. You can go spend money on it on other people's websites because a lot of people charge a lot of money for this stuff, but I just got the same information. I think the information should be free. So you can either check it out or you can go buy a book. It's up to you, I don't mind. But they've got these 3 rings of muscle, and they learned how to undulate these 3 rings of muscle. It's called the Singapore kiss, Pompor. And then instead of the vagina being like this, the vagina goes like that, and then they can like stimulate the penis without moving their hips. And that's just if a woman can tighten her vagina, because tight vaginas are great. If a woman can actively tighten a vagina, then that's just a game changer. And that's just roughly what Pompor is about. Obviously, a lot of it is about, empowering the female and viewing the female as a goddess and pleasuring the female. So it's really not all about the guy and the guy getting his way. It's all about the female and the female getting away, and then you feeling empowered through that process.
I like it.
So that's pretty much me. Another thing, learn about women's ovulations. Is women can only get pregnant for like 5 or 6 days every month. Okay, and so if you work out the woman's when she ovulates or when she has a period, you can work out what times you can have sex without condoms and not be worried about pregnancy, and when to have sex and be worried about pregnancy, or if you want to have a child, when's the best time to have sex and when's the best time not to have sex, so you're not just wasting your seed.
Yeah.
So for my girlfriend personally, we've synced it up. So on the full moon, exactly on the day of the full moon every month, without fail, she'll ovulate. And on the new moon, it's crazy, on the new moon, she'll have a period. And this, you can, most women's might be, that's like the natural cycle with the moon, the month, the moon, the menstrual cycle. And that's, there's two interesting, they've got the, most women normally ovulate on the full moon. Well, they should when they're connected with nature, but there was also the red moon, which is where the priestesses ovulated, so that the priestesses, they could help each other. So when one set of women's got the period, the other set of women can help each other. So you might naturally fall into ovulating on the full moon, or you might naturally ovulate on the new moon. But you can, if you might be a few days out, you can adjust it by eating certain foods, like spicy foods, adjust it. And there's certain other exercises you can do to kind of, so you're, as a female, you're synced with the natural rhythms of nature. There's another thing worth checking out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thanks for that on the women too. So yeah, and Josh, this has been absolutely Yogi Roo, even that's been absolutely amazing. So pureaffair.com is your website. You've got lots of free information that people should look up, and if they want to waste money,
everything's free.
Yeah,
and I've started a new thing called Friends of Tantra, and it's going to be a big list of all different teachers, so people can go to the website, check out all these different teachers, see if they like them, and then they could follow that link and check out their workshops.
Nice.
So that's going to be a nice big collection of all different teachers around the world for people to draw on. Oh. So that's something I'm working on now.
Awesome.
Be a good resource.
And you've got a YouTube channel as well, which is tied in. I
have a YouTube, pureaffair.com. It's kind of small. Please subscribe, and I really appreciate that. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming that way. I kind of mainly did writing up until now, but I want to get more into audio, video. I got a lot to say, and I got a lot of people to talk to. So
yeah,
subscribe. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming down there soon.
Yeah.
Every week there's going to be new stuff. So please.
Oh yeah, please do subscribe.
It's all free.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. This was Harry, Holistic Harry with Josh, Yogi Roo, and thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely day.